Oh, crap. Technical difficulties, guys. I apologize for that. Here we go. Let's take 2 on Lois starting this. Sorry about that. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to this first inaugural event of the Accelerated Global Connections launch of San Diego. My name is Lois Kofi. I'm a regional partner and captain of the San Diego location of Accelerated Global Connections. Welcome you here today to our kickoff event. And I have no shame. That was my snafu, technical difficulties, and super excited and honored to be here with you guys today. I'm going to go ahead and be sharing a lot of slides with you guys, so please follow along. Go ahead, like, comment below. You're being here a part of this today. You're part of this AGC Talks event. And AGC Talks is a TED Talk-like environment where we're going to have a timed 15-minute talk today with our motivational speaker, Lynda Sunshine West. It's going to be educational. It's going to be inspirational, followed by questions and answer time. So what is AGC? Well, first of all, I have to give a huge shout out to one of my dearest friends, Travis Sims. Him and I go way back. He's my brother from another mother. So thank you, Travis, for giving me this opportunity today. This is Accelerated Global Connections, and Travis is the CEO and founder. We're actually almost celebrating our 2nd anniversary, guys, today. And Travis has pivoted well. I helped him. I was there 2 years ago when we started this party. We're going to have a huge celebration coming up here in early February celebrating him. And he's pivoted well into this online networking space. So what I'd like you to do in this inaugural event is play along. Comment below what city, state, or country, because I know we had some people RSVPing all the way from Europe, guys, and hit hashtag live or hashtag replay. And you also may be, if you're not on YouTube or all of the places that I'm streaming right now, you could be a part of this exclusive group, the Facebook groups, AGC member exclusive groups. And then, of course, there's the AGC public group, which is already going strong at 1,700 plus. There's daily networking activities and almost daily AGC Talks, TED Talk style, inspirational, motivational opportunities for you to connect with like-minded global participants. You can also find AGC Talks on all of the things, right? All of the social spaces, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Vimeo, Fire TV, and Roku. So go ahead and hit subscribe to any or all of these mediums that are your favorite places. We also want you to check out the AGC experience that airs every Monday. Find it at joinagc.com/podcast so that you, as your own smart business owner in this new normal, can be inspired by different inspirational messages every single week. We also want to give a quick shout out, and I'm so proud that I know this gentleman, this premier sponsor, Bo Young of Mailbox Power. Whoop, whoop. He's there in Minnesota, super amazing and helping work with appreciation. You know, appreciation in this new normal is I think more important now than ever to be able to go to your mailbox, open it up, and find something that's really heart-centered And as you know, Fortune is always in the follow-up. So if you're looking for new ways, I use Mailbox Power myself. I think it's a phenomenal extra touch in business that is oftentimes lost in this new day and age of social media. And of course, if you would like to be like Bo and be a sponsor, you can actually sponsor the next AGC Talks live broadcast or the podcast as well. You can just go ahead and reach out to us at support@joinagc.com. And of course, we want to remind you one of the valuable gifts that we have in this new normal. Before, in AGC 2 years ago, we were meeting together in a big room full of people. Now you can join us after the guest speaker and the open Q&A that we're going to have in the Zoom room. If you are a member, you're always welcome. If you're a first-time guest, you can actually go ahead and join us for that first time to talk to the speaker. And guys, she's amazing. All of our speakers are amazing. You don't want to miss out on that benefit of membership or as a first-time guest. And of course, if you want to become a member and you want to have all the privileges of this online, massive global community, it's only $1 a day. You can check it out at joinagc.com. I'm a super proud member and have been for 2 years. And I've met some of the best people, you guys, got some of the best business, which converted into money. So the $1 a day, less than a cup of coffee, right, is very valuable. We also want to give a quick shout out to our global community. I love all of these people. I've grown to love all of them from all over the country. These are the captains. These are the people like myself. As a captain, we're helping spread the news and help business owners stimulate their economy through business relationships and networking. Also want to give a huge shout out. I am the local captain here in San Diego, Southern California. So I am looking for a team of people who want to be servant leaders, who want to help bring people together in this now online community. We're always going to be online, you guys. We meet once a month in this space. So I'd love for you guys to reach out to me. I'll make sure you guys have my contact information, or reach out to me on Facebook or comment below if you're interested in being a part of this awesomeness. So today we have an amazing guest speaker, Lynda Sunshine West. She and I go way back to, I think it's 2019, 2018. I can't remember. It feels like a lot longer because she's become a very near, dear friend of mine. And she's going to be talking today about how to create and leverage relationships to build a thriving business. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce Lynda here. Lynda, I hope you're ready soon. I want to go ahead and give your bio introduction, and then we're going to let you take the proverbial stage. So Lynda Sunshine West is known as the Queen of Collaboration. She's a speaker, 6-time best-selling author, executive film producer, red carpet interviewer, and philanthropist. For an entire year in 2015, she faced one fear every day. In doing so, she gained an exorbitant amount of confidence, you guys. And I know her. She's one of the most confident people I've ever met. So I was blown away by her story. And she uses that confidence to make a difference on the planet. She calls herself, and I agree, the Queen of Collaboration. So her mission is to help 5 million women entrepreneurs share their voice with the world, and her collaboration projects, which I'm proud to be one of them, including compilation books, podcasting, summits, live shows, magazine, and events. She believes that collaboration and cooperation and connecting with like-minded people is the way to be. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the stage. Lynda, take it away, girl.
Oh my God, no pressure at all, Lois, being the first guest. First of all, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here because, it's, as you mentioned, my story, this is how we relate to people, but my story, I sometimes forget how tough my childhood was because of what I'm going through now. And I'm sharing that because I think it's important for us to, really remember our childhood and how it makes us become who we are today. I was just chatting with a friend on Facebook just now. I was just chatting with her, and she said, I just love how strong you are. And it reminded me of that. I didn't have all that great of a childhood. I'm going to go into a little bit of that in a little bit here. But Jim Rohn, you may have heard of this gentleman named Jim Rohn, and he says, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So who are you spending your time with? Are you spending your time with people who are making you feel small, making you feel dumb, making you feel ignorant, making you feel like you're never going to be successful? Are you spending your time with people who are uplifting and inspiring and motivational, and they're going to keep you going, and they really have your best interest at heart? Who are you spending your time with? I would love for you to share in the chat, who is it that you're spending your time with? How do you feel right now? How are you feeling right now? Probably listening to Lois and then listening to Lynda Sunshine West. By the way, that is not my given name. That's the name that was given to me by people within the last just couple years. Now, it's interesting as I say that, I'm 57 years old. And at 57, I look at that and I say, how come nobody called me Sunshine the first 55 years of my life? It wasn't only until just the last 2 years that people started calling me Sunshine. And I realized it was because I have completely changed my life. And as Lois stated, in 2015, I faced a fear every single day. Every single day. I want you to think about that. You're putting yourself out there to face a fear every single day. Well, why did I face a fear every day is one of the questions that I get asked often. And the reason I faced a fear every single day is because I had so many fears. But it wasn't until 2014 when I hired a life coach who helped me to even realize that there were a lot of fears that I had that I wanted to face, that I wanted to break through, that I wanted to change my life. And so I went on this path. So by working with my life coach, she helped me to unlock so many challenges that I had from my previous life, my childhood mainly, is I carried all this baggage around with me for years. But she helped me to realize who I am and what value I have on this planet. By knowing the value I have, that is what set me on a path, on a trajectory like no other. Now, during that year of fears, when I faced a fear every single day, I didn't jump out of any planes. I didn't eat any bugs. I didn't do bungee jumping. I didn't have fears like that. I mean, I do have fears like that. Don't get me wrong. But my fears were so deep rooted in one thing, mainly one thing. And that was the fear of judgment. Many of us have the fear of judgment. It's actually the number one fear. And I do have dogs. I'm at home just like everybody else. And for some reason, they're barking. There must have been a fly that flew by or something, so they're barking at it. But, fear is something, we all have it. I interviewed this gentleman. He has an IQ of over 190. He's known as the Scorpion. And I asked him, do you have any fears? And he said, yeah, I have this fear, a fear of boredom. So I was thinking like, oh my gosh, that's a fear. Like I hadn't even thought of that as being a fear. And then I interviewed another gentleman. He's a bariatric surgeon. He's a world-renowned bariatric surgeon. I asked him, do you have any fears? Because I'm looking at these people who are very successful and they got so much going for them. Like, do you have any fears? Yes, I have a fear of insignificance. So I was looking at fears and seeing what kinds of fears other people have and comparing those in a way to my fears just to see like what's different about us. The thing is that we all have fears. We just have different fears and they come from different reasons, different experiences that we've had in our past. And so what is it that we're going to do to break through those fears? So January 1st of 2015, I woke up that morning and I said, whoa, I'm so addicted to the change that had happened for me while I was working with my life coach in 2014. I said, I'm so addicted and I'm hooked on change that I want to keep my life changing. Oh man, I've got so many fears. I'm going to break through a fear every day. Now, I didn't set a New Year's resolution because I don't know about you, but I don't ever follow through on any New Year's resolutions I've made probably ever in my entire life. So it wasn't a New Year's resolution. Instead, I made a commitment. And this is a commitment to myself. This was a commitment to change who I am. This was a commitment to see what I could do by facing a fear every single day. So every single morning I would wake up, and the very first thing, before I even got out of bed, before my feet hit the floor, I would wake up and ask myself this question. And I remember the first day I did it, it was January 1st, 2015. I'm laying in bed. I open up my eyes and I said out loud, what scares me? And I just laid there. Now, my husband thought I was nuts because I was like, what the heck are you doing? But I laid there in the bed and I just waited until the first thing came up. I don't remember what it was because that's not what's important here. What's important is that I made a decision, I made a commitment, and I kept going. So every single day I went through this process. Wake up, open eyes, say out loud what scares me, and wait. I wait for the answer. Whatever was the very first thing that came to my mind was the fear I was committed to facing. It didn't matter what it was, who it was with, where it was. It was just, I had to face that fear every single day. So the most common question I get asked is, what was your biggest fear? Well, this is how I realized, like after the year was over and I was, going on my merry way and doing things and changing my life. The biggest fear I had was, which is actually the number one fear. They say more people are scared of speaking on stage than they are of dying. More people are scared of speaking on stage than they are of dying. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that? Well, if you think about it and you break it down like I did, because, I had these fears every single day I'm facing. And I'm like, people aren't scared of speaking on stage. They're scared of the judgment that will come across from speaking on stage. So whether that's doing a video, putting out a social media post, whatever it is that you're doing, there's this fear of possible judgment, getting on a phone call and calling somebody, asking for the sale. There's so many fears that we have, but judgment is the number one fear. Napoleon Hill talks about it in his book, Think and Grow Rich. So as I'm going on this journey, I started meeting some very interesting, I like to kind of equate it to da 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 da. I would stop myself from sinking when I read this stinking thinking. If I only had a brain, a heart, a home. Courage. Courage is the opposite of fear. So what happened in 2015 as I start going on this journey of self-awareness, this journey of experiences, this journey of meeting people I'd never met before. I am a shy extrovert. And what this means is that as I'm approaching a situation, I'm shy to it. But when I get there, I'm balls to the wall and I'm ready to rock and roll and I'm going to have a great time. But getting me to the situation is a challenge. Why? The fear of judgment. So I'll briefly, I want to make sure I'm very cognizant of my time. I get 15 minutes. So I'm going to stick to that 15-minute time limit. So I grew up in a very volatile, abusive, alcoholic household. My dad was extremely abusive, very condescending, and I don't really remember a whole lot of things he said when I was young that were nice. Now, I'm sure there were. I just don't remember them. Okay. At 5 years old, I packed up my bags and I ran away. At 5 years old, I ran away and I was gone for an entire week. And okay, first question people always ask, where did you go? Where did you go? I only went to the neighbor's house, but I want you to think about this. You have a 5-year-old child, or you were 5 years old at one time. And I was gone for that week, right? While I was gone, what happened? What happened during that week was something that I didn't realize at the time, but was very instrumental as to who I became until I hired my life coach. Nobody came to get me. Mom and dad must not really love me. They didn't come to get me. They don't want me around. These were the beliefs that I had at age 5. And they were solidified, locked in tight until I was 51 when I hired the life coach. Now, it's interesting. I was sitting with this gentleman. You may have heard of him. His name is Les Brown. And I was talking to Les, and he was asking me my story. And by the way, he is so amazing. He actually listens to you. So he listened, he took lots of notes, and he said, well, why'd you run away that day? Now, nobody ever asked me that question. Everybody always asked me the same question. Where did you go? But nobody ever asked me, why did you run away? And I said, well, I was tired of it. I was, 5 years old, and they're yelling and screaming, and my dad is beating my mom, and my mom's just taking it. Like, I ran away because I got so fed up with it. And he goes, no, that's not it. I go, what do you mean? What else could it be? Well, you had gotten fed up with it, I'm sure, before you were 5. But what was it about that particular day that you ran away? And I realized it was my courage. I had an exorbitant amount of courage when I was 5 years old, and I ran away. I just picked up, I'm out of here, I'm sick of it, and I'm out of here. And I didn't let myself put up with it. So what happened was, a week later, my mom did know where I was. I just didn't know she knew where I was. A week later, she calls the neighbor and she says, hey, Linda's been gone long enough. You can send her home now. And so I came home with my head down, literally. I didn't look people in the eyes for decades, with my head down and my tail between my legs. Fear set in at age 5, and it locked in so tight. Then I ended up marrying somebody just like my dad. Somebody who was condescending, said all kinds of mean things to me. And I carried this with me for 46 more years until I was 51 years old. And my life coach unlocked the brilliance that I have inside that I didn't even know was there, or I'd forgotten about it. So what happened is, I go on this path of this journey, and I start meeting people like Les Brown, like Jack Canfield. I interviewed stars on the red carpet like Wesley Snipes. That was actually one of my favorite stories. It's don't have time to share that one today, but it was one of my favorite stories because of what I did to make these things happen. These are through the relationships that I've created throughout the years. So I have Lois, and she's an amazing, amazing person, amazing friend I've met in the last couple of years. But I met this one gentleman in particular. His name is Greg Reed. He's my mentor now. But Greg is one person in my life who has unlocked, not my mind, because my life coach did that, but he has unlocked the relationships that I have today. Now, Greg is an international motivational speaker. He puts on an event that's a #1 Forbes rated event called Secret Knock, and he has connected me with these people. I met Les Brown because of Greg Reed. I met Jack Canfield because of Greg Reed. I met Wesley Snipes because of Greg Reed. I met, all these different people that I've met. It's been absolutely amazing because of that connection, that relationship that I have to somebody. So I want you to think, who are some of the people that you're hanging out with in your life right now? Are they serving you to help you to serve your higher purpose, your highest purpose that you have here on this planet? What are they doing for you, for your life? And I stopped my timer there. Okay, good. What are they doing to help you to live your best life? So think about this. Are they serving you, or are they not serving you? Now, while I was on this journey and meeting all these amazing people, guess what happened? I became sunshine. I was never sunshine before because I had so much anger, so much hate, so much disdain because of my childhood. I've released all of that, and moving into who I am today is the sunshine person that you're seeing in front of you today. But it's because of those relationships. So what ended up happening as I started meeting people like Greg, the founder of the Make-A-Wish Foundation, the founder of UGG Boots, I have these people in my books, they're helping me to tell their stories as well. And I'm helping them to tell their stories in my books. But what ended up happening is, as I became sunshine, the people in my life who were no longer sunshine, or who weren't sunshine, they weren't all along because they were the people I hung out with. The 5 people I hung out with were negative people. I was a negative person. So as I start meeting these positive and uplifting people, and I become this sunshine person that I am today, guess what? All of those negative people just disappeared. So you'll know when you're actually really making a shift in your life, when you step into those positive environments that you really want to be part of. Now, if you don't want to be part of them, I'm not going to force you to, of course, but if you want to be part of something that is positive and uplifting, Find those people who are doing what you want to do. Not only that they're doing what you want to do, but they're successfully doing what you want to do. Get yourself out there. Face your fears. Fear, false evidence appealing. Okay, here, I wrote this down to make sure I would say this. False evidence appearing really cool. False evidence appearing really cool. Here's another one. Fear, face everything and run into it. Don't run away from it. Run into it. And my favorite, the one I came up with, faith erases anxious reactions. When your faith is strong, your fear is weakened. If you're having a fearful situation, think about how strong your faith is. I want you to check into your faith. I want you to tap into that. And then what I want you to do is I want you to change the words fearful, scared, anxiety, any of those words that bring up that nervous energy. I want you to replace it with one word, and that's the word excited. I'm excited to be here today. I'm excited to speak on this stage. I'm excited to be in front of you, this audience. I'm excited to provide this information to you. I'm excited to be at this networking event. I use that word so often, you'll see me probably overuse it, but it's one of the words that I use in order to get me into a heightened state of positivity. Heightened state of positivity. So with that, Lois, I'm done, girl. I think I got through everything I wanted to mention today, but it's been an honor to be here. And woo, woo, I think I did okay, like 15 minutes and 28 seconds or something. I like
See, guys, I invited the best of the best because I knew I could count on Lynda to be amazing. So give her a round of applause. Yay. Comment below, guys. This is the time for the Q&A. So I would love for you guys to put your questions in the comments. Of course, I'm going to give shout outs to people. And I think you know this young lady.
I do. Kia. I love Kia. She's awesome.
Yeah. Yay. So you touched on so many things. I'm going to kind of wait and see what questions or comments we get from the audience here. But I loved how you named all of your coaches and mentors. So I'm just curious.
That wasn't all of them. That was just a couple of them, by the way, because I truly believe in coaching. I've invested, close to $200,000 on coaching because it's so important for us. I can't see in front of my face, but somebody can see the brilliance in me that I have no idea that's even there. And they help to bring it out. So, okay, sorry. Stop it.
No, I mean, you sort of already answered my question. I was going to ask you, how did you go about finding these coaches and mentors? And I know more of your story, but I know there's people out there who are probably looking for those coaches and mentors to help them look in the mirror.
Well, we'll start with the first one, which was the life coach. I was 51 years old. By this time, I had worked in the corporate world for 36 years, and I had 49 jobs. So obviously, I'm not employee material. Right. I'm like, that's a given. But I was driving myself to work. I was working for a judge in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. And I was realizing how miserable I was. And so as I was driving to work, I was literally, I remember it clear as a bell, because that was the day that my life started to change. I'm driving to work. I'm like, oh my God, this is so ridiculous. I'm stuck in traffic every single day. Like I was just whining and complaining about things. Like, what is the purpose of this whole planet? What is my purpose on this planet? I don't have any value. All I do is push papers around for lawyers. Like this is sort of the languaging I was speaking at the time. So when I got to work, I got on Facebook, which we weren't supposed to be, but I was there anyway. And I got on Facebook and I saw this post, this woman, she said, I'm a life coach. I took some time off. I'm getting back into it. I'm looking for 5 women who want to change their life. And that was like, she was talking to me and I answered the call. Literally, I saw it, and I'd like to say, see an opportunity, then seize the opportunity. Because the opportunities are all over the place. Are we actually seeing them? And then when we do see them, do we let fear stop us from jumping on them? Oftentimes, fear is it's like the killer of dreams. So I saw this, I jumped on it, and that was the start of it. Then I'll just share quickly. So then got to the next phase. I worked with her. She helped me so much, unlocked a lot of these things about myself I didn't know. Like I didn't know I was a smart person because my ex-husband told me, he made sure I knew I was stupid and ignorant, and she helped me to see that I am a smart person. So I attended this vision board seminar. Greg Reed, who actually became my mentor, was the keynote speaker at the event. He introduced us to his event, Secret Knock, which I attended. And by the way, I was a wallflower and I stayed back in the corner. Every time we were on a break, I stayed in a corner all by myself. I was too scared to talk to anybody. But my life coach was there. She would bring people and she goes, hey, this is a so-and-so. You need to meet them. And so she was really instrumental in helping me to actually be able to talk to people. When I first met you, Lois, like I had like 3 years of training of networking, before I met you.
I have to say something about that because that blew me away. I shared that in the introduction. I went to this room in San Diego. This was before I had moved here, and I was building, digging my well before I'm thirsty, right? I am the, extrovert, we'll say. Love to talk to people and meet new friends. And out of a room of, I want to say, Lynda, I don't know if you even
50,
remember. There's 35, 40 people there.
50, 60. Yeah, they always had a lot of people there.
It was packed. It was crammed. And whenever I go to a networking event, this is a tip for you guys. I only go now, even on Zoom, right? You're only like 1 or 2 people away from your dreams in life, right? So I only look for 1 or 2 new friends, potential collaborators. And I want to talk about that in a second with you, Lynda. And she was in the middle of the room. I was way out on the outskirts because when I go to a networking event, I like to observe the room, right? And she was the one person that I connected with that day out of like 50. And you were exactly what you said. You were sunshine. And I was like, I need to talk to that lady. So
wow.
Kudos to you. I don't know if you ever knew that. I don't think I
didn't.
That story with you. So you really transformed, and that's kudos to you for that. Lola from Nigeria. She wants to know, how do you get people to network with you in the first place, or to network with?
Oh man, Lois is actually the expert on that part of the networking, because for me, I am a shy person. So what I do is, as I'm driving to any networking event, and by the way, Lois, I do the same thing. I only 1 or 2 people. What I do is I ready myself, because to walk into a room, I got to be ready. So what I'll do is, as I'm driving there, I'll say, today I'm going to meet 1 or 2. And I pick a number, 1 or 2. Today I'm going to meet 1 amazing woman, because I work with women. So today I'm going to meet 1 amazing woman. I'm going to have such a great time. And I walk myself through this scenario as if I'm already there. And so this gets me ready so that when I walk in the door, I literally, and I've been told this before, I literally look like I belong there. Now I don't feel like it, but I look like it. And, part of that is, and that confidence to walk in there is what it really, really attracts people to you, right? Because we talk about attraction and stuff. And, Lois, you noticed me in the room. I was in the center of the reason, I go into the center of the room, because if I stay on the exterior, I'll probably walk out and disappear. So I have to move myself straight into the center of the room and just like look from the inside like this.
That's awesome. Awesome. Thanks, Lola, for your question. We got a few more minutes, guys. If you want to ask a question, otherwise I get to be selfish and I get to ask all the questions because I love asking questions. Let's see here. Okay, cool. We have one from the Travis Sims, founder of AGC. So there's so much negativity that surrounded the political climate. We ignore that. We try to, but when do we cut the strings? Do you have a thought about that when it comes to networking and surrounding and collaborating with people?
Yeah, definitely. Well, sometimes what's cool is sometimes the strings will be cut for you, Like if you stay in a heightened state of positivity, I experienced this, with family and with some friends that are no longer like in my life anymore because that negativity, I've chosen to step out of it. So as far as cutting the strings, what I do is I trust my gut. We've got a gut and it's there for a reason. If it doesn't feel good, there's probably a reason for that. So I actually noticed I started paying attention to my body only within, the last 6 years since I hired my life coach. And so what I do is, if it feels weird and my stomach is going crazy, I will ask myself the question, what's causing this? Because sometimes it's just nerves, but sometimes it's like, this person really makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't really want to be around them. And then I'll just excuse myself, hey, it's been great talking to you. I'm going to go talk to somebody else, just like that. Because what's the worst thing that can happen? They can come chase after you. It's never happened yet.
Right. And the thing is now in online space, and I'm not trying to tell you to unfriend a bunch of people or do anything like that, but
I did.
You have?
Yeah, I unfriended 3,000 Facebook friends because they weren't. I'm on Facebook. It's a business for me, and I want to build relationships, of course, because business is built from relationships. But if there's somebody on my Facebook that's throwing negative stuff out there, I'm sorry, I don't want that on my timeline. I don't want people to think I'm connected to that person. And I have unfriended family members, by the way.
Yeah, that can happen because you're not and it's nothing personal to these folks, guys. Remember that what she's saying is, are these her ideal collaborators, her ideal business partners, her ideal customers? I think that's genius. How did you get to be called the queen of collaboration? I know you had little bits and pieces in your presentation, but I'd love to hear. And again, guys, any last question, comment below.
Yeah, collaboration. When I started on this journey, I went to Secret Knock, which was that event I attended with Greg Reed. And then that led me to another event called CEO Space. And at that event is where I learned the art of collaboration and cooperation, not competition. And this is where I actually started to learn about abundance, living an abundant mindset, living an abundant lifestyle, which abundance isn't only about money. Abundance is about heart and soul. Like, what kind of life are you actually living? Are you living a life where you're, being the good part of the planet, And if so, then maybe, you're living an abundant life. And so I started meeting some absolutely amazing people who taught me the art of collaboration. When we bring people together, my goal when I go anywhere, any networking event, the online events, I host my own online networking event. When I go anywhere, I'm listening to the conversation and I'm thinking about, what are this person's needs and their wants? I don't ask them. I'm just listening. And oftentimes I will hear what they're not saying. Because a lot of times we don't know how to put into words what it is we really want. We don't know how to put that into phrasing that makes sense. So I'm actually listening to what they're not saying. And then I'm thinking, who do I know that can help them with that? Or who do I know that I can connect them with just to make this collaboration work? And so people actually started calling me the queen of collaboration. I didn't coin that phrase for myself. People started calling me that. And I actually rejected it at the beginning because I just don't like queen of anything. That's how I felt, because I'm a freaking tomboy. Okay, so for me, the queen of was kind of like an antithesis of what I wanted to be. So I just finally started to embrace it. And okay, they're calling me the queen of collaboration. If they're calling me that, I'm just going to embrace it. So that's how it came. That's the short answer. That's the long answer.
That's how you and I connect and relate so well. Mm-hmm. Awesome. So Melissa, thank you so much for sharing. Travis is wow, blown away by you, as am I. And I just want to let you guys know how you can connect with Lynda. You can go to womenactiontakers.com. Sorry, guys. Sorry, dudes. Women only. However, I do have to say, I'm super excited. I'm going to share what I'm doing with you that involves men. You and I are a part of the Fearless Entrepreneurs book compilation project. I wrote my chapter, Men Are Allowed, right? So,
Yep.
Do you want to say a little bit about the Fearless Entrepreneurs compilation project really quick?
Yeah, thanks for asking. I'm honored to have you in that book, because the Fearless Entrepreneurs, it is a compilation book, a collaboration book. I love the word, right? And it's short stories from people telling their entrepreneurial journey, whether they've had some challenges along the way and how did they get through those challenges. So everybody's story is going to be completely different. And I'm blown away when I read the stories. I just love it. But I woke up one day and this titles come to me. My first book was Momentum, 13 Lessons from Action Takers Who Changed the World, which became a best-selling book in 8 hours, which was cool. Whoop, whoop. But it's these titles come to me. I'm I believe that we're given things, these gifts, and then we got to decide what we're going to do with them. Are you going to do something or nothing? And I decided to go ahead and write the book. But yes, women, but also for my podcast, Women Action Takers Podcast, which is launching February 19th, I will also be interviewing men for that. So And what I do is I call the men wild cards. It's just a fun word, and you either want to go with it or not, and it's okay. It doesn't matter because it's the word I want to use. And so I'm inviting men as my wild cards to come and, and be on the podcast as well.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. We do have another question here, and I apologize, guys. I'm still, and this is what I love. I'm being totally transparent with you guys. People think I have it all together. Today, I've already made a bunch of mistakes in this broadcast, right? So it's all kind of more or less failing forward, right, Lynda? So here's a transparent. Someone asked a question. Unfortunately, I don't see who it is. I think it might be Keisha. They said, I have a client who feels trapped in their job, having turned the corner for yourself in a number of ways. What advice do you have for someone who knows they're stuck in a rut? And this will be the last question we take, guys.
The first thing with any change is acknowledging. First of all, acknowledging that they're feeling stuck in a rut. So I don't know if these are your words for this person or if these are their words. So the first thing is for them, if they don't want to change, they're not going to change. So the awareness is the number one. Once they have that awareness, then they can create what I love to do is I create a pro and a con column. And I just write down all the pros to, like in this situation, let's say all the pros to leaving this job, all the cons to leaving this job. And then I weigh them out. I literally do a weight, like a scale-ish, and okay, the pros outweigh the cons. Okay, now I need to figure out how to do that. What steps do I need to take to make that happen? Do I need to rewrite my resume? Do I need to start reaching out to people on LinkedIn? Whatever it is that you need to do, like figuring out what that is. Having had 49 jobs, what does that mean? I've had at least 49 interviews. You know what I mean? So that is definitely something that you want to do. I helped a woman. She recreated her resume, and literally the next day, somebody offered her a job. She got a $20,000 raise that next day just because she got her resume together. The universe said, oh, she wants a job. Let's go find one for her. So we got to make a decision and start moving forward. Hence
the name Action Takers. Thank you so much for being our kickoff speaker, Kickoff San Diego, AGC. Amazing, guys. This is going to go down in the history books. So I'm so grateful for you for being here today, Lynda. So stick around, guys. Those of you who had already registered, and if you hadn't, because we're streaming this everywhere, if you want to meet Lynda behind the scenes in the Zoom room coming up here next in less than 5 minutes, we're going to be heading off of StreamYard, off of Facebook and YouTube, and into a private first-time visitors and members only. The privilege of membership is huge. Where you get to, and Lynda, maybe you want to go take care of those pups, and we'll see you in the Zoom room shortly. All right, guys. Well, super excited. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Yeah, Kathy asked the question, why can't I see everyone in the chat? It's because I am zooming on not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 platforms. So just going to go ahead and wrap it up here, guys. Thank you guys so much for putting up with some of my technical difficulties, components along the way. I'm all about learning and failing forward. So here we had Lynda creating and leverage relationships to build a thriving business. We had our Q&A. So again, if you want to join us in the Zoom room, hopefully you've already registered. Just so you know, our next event is next month. We have an amazing speaker. We are going to be sticking with the third Thursday, but we're switching the time up. So stay tuned for that. We have AGC talks all over. I alluded to this earlier. We have AGC Minnesota, AGC Indiana, AGC Iowa, AGC California, Arizona, and Missouri. You can go to joinagc.com. And if you want to become a member and be a part of this, I'm going to speak to that really quickly. We have, we want to say thank you to our premier sponsor. This is big time sponsor, Global IT, Gandhi Wong. He's amazing. If you have any IT needs globally, this guy is your guy. In fact, I think he's somewhere over in Asia right now on a big project. So he's one of our supporters for AGC Global. So again, if you want to be a part of this community, we're going to go ahead and just get ready to say goodbye. Again, it's only $1 per day to be a part of AGC. You can go to joinagc.com, and I'm going to, of course, drop a link after we're done to also give you the direct link to joining if you would like to be a part of specifically AGC San Diego. So here's our closing outro. Yeah. And don't forget, guys, to subscribe on YouTube. We have over 200 plus videos. Just go to youtube.com/C/AGC Accelerated Global Connections. We have another event next month, again, the third Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. Go to joinagc.com to see the information on that. Thanks, guys, for being here today. I'm just going to quickly drop the link here if you want to join and become a member. And those of you first-time guests, I'm logging out of here right now and getting over to the Zoom room. So I'll see you guys there shortly. Thanks, guys. Thanks again, Travis.